Welcome. You're listening to the Louie Minor Show. I'm your host, Bell County Commissioner Louie Minor. Today is December 12th, 2024. We have a lot to get to and get caught up, so let's get started. Well, we are back after a little over a month since our last show. You know, with all the holidays and everything going on, it's need to take time to unwind and spend with your loved ones, your friends, your family. So that's what I did. And I did do a show beginning of December, but I didn't like it, so I didn't put it out. But anyways, let's... There hasn't been the last meeting for the Bell County Commissioners Court was December 16th, and we haven't had any meetings since then. But the next scheduled meeting for the Commissioners Court, Bell County Commissioners Court, is January 2nd, 2025, and we have the agenda for that. So let's go over that. We're actually going to be meeting in the at the Justice Center, 1201 Huey Lane in Belton, Texas at 9. We meet over there after the elections to swear everyone in that needs to be sworn in, take pictures and all that stuff. But let's see what is on the agenda for the 2nd, 2025. We have the invocation, Pledge of Allegiance. We have consider official bonds of all elected, re-elected, and appointed officials for Bell County. Swearing in all elected, re-elected, and appointed officials of Bell County with County Judge David Blackburn, Bill Schuman, retired Bell County Commissioner, Justice District Judge Carrie Sterrett Burnett, and Judge Larry Wilkie, Justice of the Peace, administering the oaths of office as followed. Bell County Judge David Blackburn to administer the oath of office to County Commissioner Russell Snyder, Precinct 1. Bill Schuman to administer the oath of office to County Commissioner Greg Reynolds, Precinct 3. Justice of the Peace Judge Ted Duffield to administer the oath of office to County Constable Pat Duffield, Precinct 1. County Judge David Blackburn to administer the oaths of office to County Constables Chris Bazar, Precinct 2, Devin Rosenthal, Precinct 3, and Martha Dominguez, Precinct 4. County Attorney Jim Nichols, County Tax Assessor Shay Ludicky, Justice of the Peace Larry Wilkie to administer the oath of office to Justice of the Peace, Precinct 3, Place 1, Roseanne Fisher. District Judge Carrie Sterrett Burnett to administer the oath of office to Justice of the Peace, Precinct 4, Place 1, Gregory Johnson. County Judge David Blackburn to administer the oath of office to District Court Judges, 27th Judicial District Judge Debbie Garrett, 146th Judicial District Court Judge Mike Russell, and 426th Judicial District Court Judge Steve Dusky, and Sheriff William Bill Cook. Then we will recess for photographs and then return for the consent agenda. Let's see. Consent agenda. Consider the minutes of the prior meeting of the Bell County Commissioners Court, personnel and budget amendments, claims, accounts payable, payroll, restitution, jury pay, departmental submissions. Consider authorizing the county judge to enter into a contract with Cotton Commercial USA DBA Target Solutions through TIPS number Purchasing Cooperative 23010-402 for the repair and replacement of panels, carpet, flooring, insulation at Cadence Bank Center Assembly Hall, and administrative offices not exceed a cost of $301,067.56, along with the associated budget amendments, funding from insurance reimbursement proceeds for freeze. Consider awarding IFB 20-25 pavement marking and raised pavement markers to DIJ Construction and authorize county judge to enter into an agreement with DIJ Construction for the Road and Bridge Department with appropriate budget amendments. Receive for filing with the county clerk certificates of continuing education of completion from Bell County Tax Assessor Collector Shay Louie for calendar year FY 2024-25 pursuant to SB 546, Section 6.231D of the Texas Property Tax Code. Consider approval of the license to Bell County for the use of approximately 1,085 square feet of building space, number 69004, to operate and maintain a vehicle registration office at Fort Cavazos Military Installation. That's everything for the consent agenda. And then the regular agenda, we have consider the reappointment of Mark McGraw and Toby Hatton to the Bell County Emergency Service District Number 1 for 2 years, starting January 2025 and ending December 31st, 2026. Then we have consider the appointment of Jeff Kelly to the Bell County Emergency Service District Number 1 for 2 years, starting January 1st, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2026. And consider the appointment of Bell County Facilities Director. And that is everything for our regular agenda. Now let's go to our workshop agenda. And that workshop agenda will be held at the same location immediately following the regular meeting. Let's see, we have reports and updates from various county offices and departments, capital improvement projects, jail expansion, clean annex, diversion center renovations, discuss FY 2024 CIP plan. Then we have a closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code, deliberations about deployment or specification and implementations of security personnel or devices, review the public safety vulnerability assessment for the historic courthouse security briefing to court. And that is it for our workshop. Then we have, County Judge and Commissioners May 10, January 3rd. There's a ceremonial oath for Stephanie Newell, the new incoming district attorney. And then we have a ceremonial oath of office for Judge Garrett at 3, the 146 Judicial Court. So those two things are going on later on in the week. And that is it. Well, just to catch everyone up again, let's, Colleen was in national news last weekend, and let me just play that clip.
Oh my God! No way! No way he did that! Oh my gosh! Holy sh! What the? Oh my gosh! Oh my God! They shot him! They shot him! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! They shot him! Oh my gosh! Y'all get out of there! Oh my gosh! Oh gosh! Y'all get out of there! Go!
So that was a witness video that was uploaded to the website. What it shows is a individual in a truck being chased by law enforcement in the Killeen Mall parking lot. And then that driver proceeded to drive through the front doors, glass doors of J.C. Penney, and just drove through there. The person was later identified as 53-year-old John Darrell Schultz of Kempner, which is just outside of the Killeen-Lampasas area. It's in between Killeen and Lampasas. It's not very far from here. But that person drove through the front of Killeen Mall, J.C. Penney's, injured some people, 5 people, and was shot and killed by law enforcement inside the mall. So definitely a scary evening last weekend. A lot of people didn't know what was going on. Social media immediately, said it was a active shooter. But definitely active shooter or a person driving through the mall, running people over is just as bad. So I'm sure there'll probably be a little bit more to the story. According to the news release, the chase began in Belton, which is about 20 miles away from Killeen. So, who knows what was going on with that person? But he was, I guess, neutralized in that situation, and definitely want to thank our law enforcement for keeping everyone as safe as possible and ending that situation, that scary situation that happened last week. So the next thing I want to talk about real quick that's actually happening in Precinct 4, my precinct, an issue with the city of Killeen and a MUD, Municipal Utility District. So a MUD is a taxing authority. They get created in 2 ways here in the state of Texas. They can be created by the legislature whenever they're in session, or they can be created as an application through TCEQ, and that's the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. So those are the 2 ways that MUDs are created. A MUD is created for development in areas outside of cities, pretty much. So they use their taxing authority to get financing to help construct the subdivision. So that it'll pay for the roads, it'll pay for the water, the sewer, all that stuff. And then on top of county taxes, the MUD pays a MUD tax. And then once the debt is paid off, then the MUD, I guess it could keep going or it could be annexed. But anyways, let me play this news clip real quick, and that will get you up to speed a little bit, and then we'll go into a little bit more detail.
I'm Josh Crawford, your Killeen neighborhood reporter. The new Turnbow Ranch housing development is going up on Chaparral Road, just outside of city limits. But there's a big problem for current and future homeowners, one that could leave them without options during an emergency.
This development should have been in the city to start with.
Debate and questions surround the new Turnbow Ranch after the city of Killeen put out a public notice Friday advising people living in the new subdivision on Chaparral Road that they do not have access to fire, ambulance, or police services. The initial development in 2013 included plans to possibly annex the area, but the city tells me changes in state law have made that highly unlikely to happen. The city manager outlined what this means for people living at Turnbow Ranch.
But it's going to be much less response than a city fire department. It's going to be a much slower response. And then as far as ambulance, it's going to have to be some sort of county provided service that right now the ambulance is either going to be coming from Temple or Salado. And so you could be looking at somewhere upwards of an hour response time.
Louie Minor, the Bell County Commissioner for Precinct 4, where Turnbow is located, shared possible solutions.
Definitely need to start looking at possibly doing an emergency service district, an ESD. Here, citizens would have to vote on it. It'd be a taxing authority, but it would provide a higher level of service that residents are getting right now.
I took to the streets of Turnbow Ranch to see if current residents were aware of the non-city designation and their feelings about the quality of services.
So I don't recall being told, but there is a sign when you're driving that tells you, DR Horton, they've been good at like getting back to us and helping us out with any problems that we had. We were able to get the water really quickly.
For Susanna, a first-time homeowner who moved here from Nolanville, she tells me she's curious to track how speed and quality of services change as Turnbow expands.
I wonder how it's going to be handled, because like you said, it is going to be one of the biggest ones here, so I wonder how they will respond. But since it's new, I'm not sure. So far it's good, but when it gets bigger, I wonder how they will like figure all that out when, more people come in and more people need services quick.
I did get a hold of WBW, the developers for Turnbow Ranch. While they offered no official comment, they did say filling the projected 3,000 houses set to fill Turnbow would be a 10 to 15 year process. Reporting in Killeen, I'm Josh Crawford.
So let's read the press release that the city of Killeen put out. It is dated December 18th, 2024. The city of Killeen wants to ensure the public and potential residents of Turnbow Ranch subdivision located outside the official city limits are aware that although their address are listed as Killeen, the current and future homes totaling 2,700 plus are not within the city limits and therefore do not pay city property taxes. As a result, there are no city-provided emergency services available for that neighborhood, including fire, ambulance, or police. The Turnbow Ranch community borders the southeast part of town along the 3600 block of Chaparral Road and falls within the Bell County Municipal Utility District Number 2. The city of Killeen has entered into an agreement to provide specific municipal services, water/wastewater, while other essential services are managed by separate entities. Emergency services, including fire, police, assistance. No known ambulance service is currently available. We want to make sure citizens are aware of this before they purchase a home in this area and there is no confusion. The alternative essential services are listed below, and we want to clarify that response times may vary and may be longer than expected due to the location and the resources available from those entities. So they have services provided to Turnbow Ranch by the city of Killeen include water and wastewater services. Utility accounts will be billed monthly. Residents with questions or concerns regarding their water or wastewater services can contact City of Killeen. Services that are not provided by the City of Killeen to Turnbow Ranch and are managed by other providers include Fire and Rescue Response, Southwest Bell County Volunteer Fire Department, emergency services, emergency medical services, no known EMS or ambulance services currently available to this area, and police services, the Bell County Sheriff's Department, maintenance and road repair, Bell County Road and Bridge Department, solid waste provided as contracted through MUD number 2. The city has and continues to distribute this information to all new residents of this community via our Utilities Collection Division through a flyer document once new residents register their water services via direct mail to all Turnbow Ranch residents by way of 2 large signs posted prominently at community entrances. Via news release on all local media, via local association of realtors through Fort Cavazos housing representatives and the City of Killeen website, among other platforms. Those who are unaware of whether their property lies within the city or would like additional information may view our City of Killeen GIS page. The city cares about your safety and well-being of all matters of the community and encourage citizens to reach out to alternate entities listed with any questions. And that is the public release from the city of Killeen. So in that news clip, that was Channel 25's Josh Crawford. He interviewed me about Turnbow Ranch, and I explained to him that I think that it's time that that part of the county, Precinct 4, may need to look at doing an emergency service district, an ESD. An ESD is a taxing authority created by the voters. There's a mechanism in state law of how that is done. You need 100 signatures of property owners to create an emergency service district. And there's a lot of ESDs in the state of Texas, and it's a good way, I think, that to provide funding for those essential services. The county is limited on how much taxes they can raise. There's a 3.5% cap each year. And it's called the voter approved rate. So if you go over that 3.5% cap, you have to go to the voters to raise it above that. And then I heard that they're even trying to make it that, you got to get 60% plus of voters to vote on that voter approved rate for it to go into effect. But that's right now, I think it's just a simple majority. But anyways, that emergency service district can use its funds to build fire stations, to pay for full-time employees, to pay for ambulance service. And like I said, right now we have a volunteer fire department. I do believe that the Southwest Bell Volunteer Fire Department is the best one in the county, from my understanding. It's probably has the most funding, the most personnel. Like I said, it's run well, but they're also limited by funding. They're limited by what they can do and what services they can provide. And you didn't hear my full comments that I made to Josh, but I was telling him that we're in the process, and by we I mean the county, Bell County. We are in the process of urbanization. We're moving from that rural mindset to an urban mindset. So the county has to get away from their thought process of rural ag, and we're facing these issues in Precinct 4, Precinct 2. Remember Chaparral Road, the stop sign, the issue behind the stop sign. Now, the county does not operate one traffic signal at all. Nowhere in the county do we have a traffic signal. But we have plans to do that on Chaparral Road. We'll be talking about that in another meeting, another episode. But we're going to have to do that. We're going to have to own and operate and maintain a traffic signal that the county's never done before. The county doesn't, specifically like for Turnbow Ranch, we don't have an ordinance for sidewalks. We don't require sidewalks in subdivisions. But Turnbow Ranch, they have sidewalks. So we have to make a standard. They're putting these sidewalks in the county right away. And if we don't maintain them, if they get degraded, whatever, there's ADA issues that can arise from that. Just look at the city of Killeen. They were sued and fined by the Department of Justice for ADA issues with our city sidewalks. And now they have to have a big old plan and hire an ADA director as part of the settlement to address ADA issues. So even though we don't require them to put them in, and if they put them in our right of way, that makes us responsible for them. So, anyways, that is Turnbow Ranch Emergency Service District. Bell County already has one. ESD number 1. You heard me talk about it in the regular agenda. We're voting on board members for that. So there's a method. It's been done in the county. I think ESD number 1 is doing great. I haven't heard of any issues. Citizens are happy to have it. I think they have a fire marshal now. So there's a lot of things good with having that dedicated funding that you can provide to your citizens, your residents, taxpaying residents. So that is ESD is the answer, but you have to do it correctly. And I believe before this last election, Troy Volunteer Fire Department, they wanted to do an ESD. And I think they gave us the petition. They had all the signatures. They had all the requirement. But from my understanding, they had a hiccup. In the law, it says that you have to get permission from any city if the ETJ falls in the ESD. ETJ is extraterritorial jurisdiction. Depending on the size of the city, you can have half a mile, 1 mile, up to 5 miles outside of city limits. And I don't know exactly why ETJs were first formed. I think it was because, cities were growing, cities could annex back then. Cities cannot annex now. So I don't know if ETJs work anymore like they used to, but either way, we still have ETJs. For at least for the city of Killeen, it's 5 miles outside the city. So if the city, and by city I'm Killeen, if Killeen wants to run out and put this out there that, hey, we don't want, which it's still, I get why the city did it. I kind of understand. People are going to expect services. People are going to be complaining like, hey, the police station headquarters is like right down the road. You can see it. They're going to build a new fire station training center right down the road. You can see it. But they're not coming. I have an emergency. My house is burning. My, family member needs medical services, and you're making us wait. So I get it, but to me it's kind of hard to understand why the city felt compelled to put this out, unless it's an issue. And I haven't heard anyone making an issue of it other than the city. But anyways, that's my recommendation as your county commissioner for precinct 4. I think we need to do an emergency service district and move forward that way, where we could get an ambulance service on the west side of the county. We can get a new fire station full time, because what happens is, your expectation, your service level, you don't live out in the country. It's city living, urban. These houses are stacked up side by side. There's probably a good 40, 50 houses out there now, and some level of construction. People are already living out there. You heard one of the residents, but there's other people that are living there as well. And it's only going to continue to grow. So, yeah, we definitely need to figure this out. Residents need to figure it out. I get the feeling that Southwest Bell is opposed to an ESD, but I don't know. I don't know. I haven't talked to the chief in a while, but the county's limited, like I said, on how much we can support all the volunteer fire departments out there by budget constraints, and those are budget constraints that are put on to us by the state legislature. So, this is the only way that I could see. I think, as the Mandalorian would say, this is the way. But anyways, that is Turnbow Ranch. That is kind of what's been going on here in Precinct 4. And more to come on it, obviously, as people continue to move in and issues arise out there. I'm sure I'll get more issues sent to me for that require my attention. But I had mentioning MUDs and all that. We have a large MUD coming to Bell County. It was already approved by the state legislature last legislative session. I'm sure it's going to take quite a while for it to build out, start construction. I think the biggest issue right now is water. But from my understanding, they have that figured out. But it's the Solana Ranch MUD, Municipal Utility District. Over 7,000 acres of development that is coming to South Bell County. 2/3 of Solana Ranch is in Bell County. 1/3 of Solana Ranch is in Williamson County. So we entered into a development agreement. I don't know if it was last year or maybe 2023, but we entered into a development agreement with Solana Ranch MUD. So that's going to be coming. And they're estimating probably 50 to 60,000 people are going to be living in this MUD. So it's going to be a new city, creating a new city out of nothing. And, we're going to have to, by we, I mean Bell County, we're going to have to figure out how are we going to get law enforcement. Maybe we're going to have to put a substation down there, fire, EMS, all these things that, we're having to figure out now with Turnbow Ranch. And it's best if we figure this stuff out now before any homes go in there, before, homes go in, and we're trying to figure it out then. That may not be for another 10 years before, they start building out there and people start living out there. But once they do, it's not going to take long for those problems to start multiplying as people start moving in. So, these are things that we see coming, that the Commissioner's Court sees coming. We anticipate more MUDs. And we'll see how many we get out of this next legislative session that begins January 14th, 2025. So anyways, that's the MUD drama right now in the county. And yeah, more to come, I'm sure. So speaking about the legislature, the House has not coalesced around someone yet, at least someone that could win the speaker. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. We'll know on the 14th because that's when they convene. I believe the required number is 82 or 86 to get the speakership. But no one, either Representative Cook or let's see, who was the other one? Representative Cook. I forgot the other guy's name, but anyway, well, like I said, we'll see. It's probably going to be someone else, but that's something to watch. I have been looking at our two representatives from Bell County to see how much legislation they filed. I was actually very surprised, since I don't know, Representative Hicklin, soon to be Representative Hicklin, has never been in office. I don't think she's ever been involved with any legislation anywhere, but she's cranking out some bills, and I wonder where those bills are coming from. I'd like to find out. Hopefully, it's not any organization like ALEC or anything like that, but it wouldn't be hard to find out. But so we'll keep an eye on that. I'm going to be down there as much as possible, trying to help out with the Texas Association of Counties and the Conference of Urban Counties, trying to support our county's rights, local government, local control. You hear that a lot because it has been attacked. The last legislative session, they had that Death Star bill that would have preemption, that would have taken a lot of local authority away and vested that with the state, which is totally opposite from everything I remember Republicans being for. So, but we're looking at that. We have the speaker race, but we also have the state Democratic Party chair race that we're looking at, because the chair resigned, Gilberto Hinojosa, and we got to appoint someone to finish out his term, and then go from there. On the 25th of January, the LBJ Ranch, I'll be going there. There's going to be a debate with all declared candidates. And if you go to the Texas Democratic Party website, at top far right-hand corner, you'll see it says chair race. So that'll give you all the information that you need to know about the chair, and that's where I'm getting this information from. But candidate filing period is from December 16th, which, like I said, it's already opened, to January 27th, 2025. And there are going to be several debates, sponsored debates. That's what it's calling. Let me see, where did it go? The SDC nomination committee will coordinate 5 official TDP chair forms to be conducted after the closing of the filing period on January 29th and before the March 29th, 2025 SDEC meeting in Austin. So I'm assuming that's when they're going to pick the chair, is the March 29th meeting. So we have Houston on Saturday, February 8th, 2025. Dallas-Fort Worth on Saturday, February 22nd. Lubbock on Saturday, March 1st. A virtual forum on Tuesday, March 25th. And then in Austin on Friday, March 28th. So I'll probably sneak down to the Austin one. I'm very interested in who we're picking. We have 2 SDEC committee members, so I'm definitely going to voice my opinion on who I think should be in charge of the party. And so those are the sponsored ones. But the Texas Progressive Caucus, who I am a member of, they're actually hosting a chair debate at, like I said, at the LBJ Library. That'll be January 25th at 12 p.m. at the LBJ Ranch in Stonewall, Texas. So I'm excited. I'm going to go to that one, see who shows up. And also, there's a list of candidates that have filed today, as of today. So let's go through the list. I don't know any of these people. I think I know one person, just through, I believe he is the finance, or was the finance chair for the state party. But anyways, let's go with the first person that filed, Steve Miller. I said I don't know anything about these individuals. It just says occupation, nonprofit executive, and pastor. And so yeah, Steve Miller, Reverend Steve Miller. Oh, look at this. He's actually on there twice. And then we have Rabbi Misha Ben David. I'm assuming that person says they are retired. The Austin Rabbi is their ex-Twitter handle. And then we have Kendall Shooter. And that's the person that it says business owner, but I believe he's been with the party for some time involved. And then we have Darcel Toby. So that's, let's see, 4 people that have filed to run. So I'm sure more will. And you know, if you want to run, then go file. I don't think it costs anything to file. There's no filing fee or petitions associated with the declaration of candidacy. That's what it's saying here. But yeah, more to come on that. I'll definitely, when I go to Austin or down to the one at the LBJ Library or LBJ Ranch, I'm definitely going to record the debate and bring it to y'all so you can be informed of who's going to be leading the county party or the state party. You know, I want, you know, it's good to have a vision, but you got to put it on paper. We need a plan. I want to see the nuts and bolts. I want to see, you know, the plan of action. How is this going to, how is this vision going to come to reality? And, you know, we got to have a budget. I mean, there's just so much to do. The party needs to be poised to pick up stuff in 2026. We know 2026, it'll be a great pickup opportunity, and we just need to be able to take full advantage of that. So anyways, I hope we got you caught up. I am going to do another show. I want to go over the elections, at least by precinct as much as possible. And kind of, you know, there was a good website that I found that goes into a lot of detail on who's voting in Bell County. So I want to bring that to you. And I mean, you go look at your county, your state, anywhere in the United States, of who's voting, what they're doing. And yeah, I found it very informative. But I'll bring that to you. And like I said, you know, I'm glad we got through the holidays. We still got New Year to go to. So if I don't talk to you again, Happy New Year, Happy 2025. Let's have a great 2025. And I will see you next week.